Time for another top 10. This is our top 10 favorite movie cameos, and back for his third appearance is KO the Knockout. Hi, thank you for tuning into the Tom Patelson Show. Once again, we're doing another top 10 list, and this one with my special guest, KO the Knockout.
I'm back. Round three.
Round three. Now, for those who don't know, KO was from Philly. And you went
From
home
Delaware.
From Delaware?
And
This whole time? This whole time I've been saying you were from Philly and you were from Delaware?
so I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, right over the bridge from Philly, and Philly is my second home. And,
There we go.
You know, it's all the same.
You went home to see family who watches this show. Thank you so much, family.
Shout out to my family. Yes, they do watch this show.
And you said, I asked them, I said, what do they want to see? Tell them to give us a topic. Tell them to give us a top 10, and they came up with this one.
Shout out to my homie, Shay Diggs, who came up with this. We was out getting drinks, and I asked him, I was like, yo, man, have you watched the show? And he was like, yeah, I checked it out. And I asked him if he had an idea for what we should do for the next episode, and he said top 10 cameos. And maybe one day if he comes to visit, you could have him on the show, because he knows a lot about movies.
Be him on the show. Yeah. Could be. Come to LA. Do the thing. Top 10. So we were talking about cameos to discuss what a cameo is for this list. I'm saying it's an actor who has some fame or notoriety that you didn't know was going to be in the movie and is not credited for being in the movie and just shows up for a brief part, usually. That's what I'm saying a cameo is. Does that qualify?
Yeah, it got you, because at first I was confused when we talked about this, because like it was a few movies on my list who a person only had one part, but they were in multiple parts of the movie.
Yeah, we were talking about Chris Rock in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And he's great in that. He's like, well, I'm going to use that one. I thought, well, that's not really a cameo, because that was just like one of his first acting jobs. That's not a cameo. It's just, that was a good gig. That was a good gig to get.
Yeah, one of the best, you know, like, how can I put it? Probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Like,
it's one of the most memorable scenes.
Pretty much.
Him going to the rib place. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Get your notes. I got my notes. Give me number 10. What is your top 10? What is the top 10? The 10.
So, number 10, 1976, directed by Michael Schultz, Car Wash. And the cameo is Richard Pryor, who played Daddy Rich.
I've not seen Car Wash in a while.
Me neither. I just watched it the other day.
George Carlin's in Car Wash, too.
He is, and he has a very funny part in that. But he wasn't a cameo because he's in, like, the whole movie.
Right, he's in the movie.
Richard Pryor is only in one scene, but if you look at any trailer to Car Wash, if you look at any poster to Car Wash, it'll say, like, starring Richard Pryor.
Let's scoot your chair up a little bit. You're close to the... You're going to knock over the things. Sorry about this, folks. That's how we roll. We roll with the punches on that, okay? Richard Pryor, Car Wash. Mine doesn't go back that far. Mine only goes back to 2009 on this one for number 10.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant your whole list.
Oh, no. I go back further than that. But for this one, it's from 2009. And although I am a big vampire, werewolf movie fan, space, things like that, I'm not a big zombie fan. I don't get off on that. It's not my thing. But I got to tell you, Zombieland from 2009 has Bill Murray playing Bill Murray, and I love a cameo where the guy plays himself, and Bill Murray's hysterical in Zombie.
That was a great one, and I would agree. I'm not big on a lot of zombie movies. I liked, you know, I Am Legend. I don't know if that was a zombie movie.
That is a zombie movie.
Yeah,
I Am Legend is a good zombie movie.
Yeah, but Zombieland, that was great. It was a zombie movie, but it was a comedy, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson, hilarious in that movie.
That's number 10. Give me number 9.
Okay, number 9, classic. Everybody loves this movie. You should. If you don't, I got a question, you know.
I was so judgmental. I was so judgmental. Better like this movie, because it is.
So, 1990, directed by Chris Columbus. Home Alone. John Candy. had a cameo.
John Candy's at the end. He's on the truck.
He's on the van where his mom hitches a ride.
Yeah.
And he's a poker player. Not poker. Poker. He's a poker player, and yeah, that's his only.
John Candy's amazing in everything. God bless. Rest in peace, John Candy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Home Alone. Nice.
And also, I watched a lot of documentaries about Home Alone, and it's one of my favorite movies. And they always talk about how like he was only on the set for like one day for a few hours and nailed it.
Wow.
That's John Candy.
Once again, if you haven't seen Netflix's documentary, The Movies That Made Us, they have an episode on Home Alone, and you should watch that.
It's one of my favorite shows. I'm waiting for season 3 to come out.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
It's either 3 or 4. Yeah.
Come on, Netflix.
Please, Netflix. We love that.
for it.
We love that thing. Solve the strike. All right. Number 9. Number 9 is from 1996, and this is not a theme, but I do like it when actors play themselves or celebrities play themselves. And from 1996, I have to go with Happy Gilmore and the recently deceased Bob Barker.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Rest in peace, Bob Barker.
Really? Like I grew up on Price is Right.
Hell yeah! I mean, if you were sick
Yes.
in the 70s and you had to stay home.
In the 80s, I wasn't born in the 70s.
I was gonna say
but it's the thing. It was the same thing. If you were
70s,
sick-
80s,
Yeah.
90s, early 2000s. If
Yeah.
you were sick and home from school,
Yeah.
you were watching Bob Barker on The Price is Right. That's the first thing you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Bob Barker.
Shout out to Bob
Rest in peace. That's a good one.
That's number 9.
Yeah.
Number 8.
All right. Number 8. We talk about this movie a lot,
Oh, great. Of course we do.
but you'll appreciate this one. Look, this one's for you.
I'm ready.
1983, directed by Joe, what's his name?
Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher? Oh, you already knew, huh?
No, but you were saying it. I was like, Joel Schumacher?
DC Cab. Come on, we always talk about this movie.
Is it Irene Cara?
Irene Cara.
It's Irene Cara.
Come on now. Look, and it's a great cameo because the main character of the movie, Tyrone, well, no, not the co-star of the movie, Tyrone, rest in peace, Charlie Barnett, talks about her the whole movie.
He does.
And the first time you see this movie, you don't if you know who Irene Cara is, rest in peace.
Irene Cara passed away?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know that. Rest in peace, Irene Cara.
Rest in peace. But she shows up in the movie playing herself. So
Yes, she
that's
does.
like, oh wow, like.
For those who don't know who Irene Cara is, she sings the song Fame from the movie Fame. She also sings Flashdance, What a Feeling.
She also starred in the movie Fame.
She started movie Fame
And
playing
Sparkle, a 1976 classic, black cinema classic right there. You
Sparkle.
never seen Sparkle?
I have not seen Sparkle.
Oh man, starring. I think that might be
He's about
Michael.
to judge
Michael,
me again. He's about to judge me some more.
No, I won't say it. I'm gonna
not
judge
seeing
it,
Sparkle.
But, it's one of a great movie from the 70s. And what's his name from Miami Vice? Michael C. Phillips.
Who played Tubbs?
Tubbs. Michael C. Phillips, right?
No.
It's Michael
It's
Phillips.
Michael something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Michael Phillips.
Sorry, brother.
I can't remember. This is how we do it. It's right here. He's right here. We're going to put it right here because I can't remember his name, but yeah.
But yeah, he stars. Well, he's like the co-star in that, and yeah, great movie.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. That was number 7?
No,
number
that was
8.
number 8.
My number 8 comes from 1993, and this is one of those rare situations where I liked the sequel better than the original, and they're both ridiculous. But ever since I fell in love with the movie Airplane and the Naked Gun series, I do love a good spoof movie now and again. This was from 1993, starring Charlie Sheen. This is Hot Shots Part 2, which is Part 2. And the Cameo, haven't seen that?
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh, but you've seen it, though.
Years. Yeah.
The Cameo, and the reason it's so great is Martin Sheen is in it as Captain Ben Willard, which is his character from Apocalypse Now. And father and son are passing each other in boats on the river, and as they pass, they say, "I loved you in Wall Street," and then they give the thumbs up, and that's the end.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, it's a great cameo, and yeah, Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen.
I remember the first one. a lot, but I haven't seen part two.
Part two is better. If
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have to watch.
Better's a strong word.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch that again.
That's number 8. Number 7.
Okay, number 7. 2001. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. I think I'm saying his name right. I mispronounce people's names all the time, so sorry about that.
I don't know if it's Fuqua or Fuqua.
Yeah, but
I know this movie.
they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know what movie I'm talking about.
Yes, you do.
Training Day. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Doggy Dogg. Great cameo. He's in one part, plays I guess I shouldn't say crippled, but
He's a handicapable individual. Is that what he is?
plays a handicapped gangster who Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke run up on for some information, and Snoop Dogg is, his part is hilarious to me. He's in a wheelchair and he's still just so hardcore and ready to throw down. Yeah, he said, "Put me in the back seat with him. I bet I'll whoop his ass."
That's a good pick.
Snoop Dogg.
Training Day is a great pick. Denzel Washington won Best Actor for Training Day, but he deserved it for like 9 other movies before they gave him that one.
He deserved it definitely for
Malcolm X.
Definitely.
Malcolm X. Great movie. All right, number 7. Number 7 comes from 2008, and people told me he was in it, and when I saw it, I didn't believe it, and I kept having to stare at the screen to see if it was him as Les Grossman, Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder, where he's wearing a fat suit with fat hands, and he is completely ridiculous, and he does this dance at it, and I'm like, what?
So
what's going on?
I was gonna pick that on my list.
Yeah.
But he's in multiple scenes.
He is in multiple scenes. Maybe that's not a cameo. Totally a cameo.
Hey, because when we talk about this, we said like 1/6. So
that's true. Maybe it's more of a surprise because he is in the cast and I think he's in the credits.
I would agree it's a cameo.
I might be breaking my own rules there.
No, I agree. It's a cameo. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise, ridiculous.
I like that. All right. So
6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
1996.
Okay.
Directed by Paris Barclay, who also, I just, read up on it. He directed a few episodes of that Dahmer series on Netflix.
Okay.
I haven't seen because I refuse to watch.
I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that neither. But don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood.
Directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans? No, directed by Paris Barclay.
Yeah.
I thought Keenen Ivory Wayans directed that. That's my bad.
But, of course, starring the Wayans brothers, but the cameo, Bernie Mac. And, that whole movie is a spoof on, hood movies.
Boys in the Hood.
From, the early 90s.
Juice, Menace to Society.
And there's a part in Boys in the Hood where the main character, Trey, Cuba Gooding Jr., gets pulled over by a cop, and the cop just treats him real bad because he's a young black kid from the inner city. It's how they do. But in Don't Be a Menace to Society while drinking your juice in the hood, there's a part where Bernie Mac spoofs that part, and it's hilarious. It's very funny.
Bernie Mac.
It's very funny.
Bernie Mac, rest in peace.
Bernie Mac. Rest in peace.
Oh.
Yeah, he pretty much gives him shit for being black, and just brings up all types of things, stereotypes of black people.
Bernie Mac is one of the 7 great performances in Bad Santa.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, rest in peace.
Love Bernie Mac.
Also has another great cameo, but I'll save that one for the next time.
Number 6. Wait, that was your number 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, my number 6. Okay, my number 6 comes from 2018, and it has 2 cameos in it. This is from Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 has Brad Pitt, who plays the Vanisher, who is not credited and who appears just his face for a brief second. And when I saw it in the theaters, I thought it was a fake, and I thought they just But no, Brad Pitt actually showed up and had to shoot. He said it was the easiest day he ever had. That and the other one, which I love, is they're walking through the X-Men mansion and Deadpool says, "Where are all the rest of the X-Men? There's never anybody here." And then a door is sliding open and every character is there from the movies. From James McAvoy to the Beast, and everybody is there in the room. And then they close the door.
That's the second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Oh, man, I got to go back and watch that again. See, I'm slipping.
That's the second one. The third one's coming out soon with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the yellow outfit. Oh, I got to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Oh, heck yeah.
But I got to go back and watch Deadpool 2 again.
Oh, Deadpool 2.
I didn't catch that part.
Deadpool 2. Sorry, Deadpool 2. It is. It's fantastic.
All right.
Well, hang on a second before I forget. And we're back after a short little break for 5-1 KO the Knockout. Please give us your number 5 favorite movie cameo.
My number 5. This is this one meant a lot to me, man, because for those who don't know, I'm also an MC. I rap. And
the name gave it away. I don't know if the name gave it away that you call yourself KO the Knockout. I don't have a nickname.
So, in 1985, I'm going to keep this short. My mother and my father took me to see a movie, hip-hop movie, me and my brother, called Crush Groove, directed by Michael Schultz.
Crush Groove.
And there's a part with a cameo from LL Cool J, who didn't even have an album out at the time, but the part was so hard, so stood out probably more than any part in the movie because it's an audition and he shows up to the audition and Jam Master Jay and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, rest in peace to Andre Harrell, who passed away recently, who was a member of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde back in the day. And they're all sitting there. He walks into the room and Jam Master Jay says, "No more auditions." And LL Cool J and his crew just sat down the radio, and they turn it on, and they just rock out anyway and do the audition. And Jam Master Jay, even to a point, was ready to pull out a gun. But LL Cool J kills the audition, and they're like, "All right, cool, you down now, you made it."
I've not seen Crush Groove in forever. 1985.
And from that point on, if you didn't know, he had a song out at the time called Without My Radio. And that's the song he performs in the movie. But if you didn't hear that song at the time, and after you saw that part, you knew who LL Cool J was.
LL Cool J.
Shout
Crush
out to
Groove.
LL Cool J.
Number 5. Number 5 is all of the MCU movies and every Stan Lee cameo. Stan Lee, the creator of Spider-Man and so many other properties for the Marvel Universe, rest in peace, Stan Lee,
Rest in peace.
is in every single Marvel Universe movie as a cameo as himself. Some of them are hysterical, some of them are terrible. But hey, Stan Lee.
That's a good one.
I had to give a hats off to Stan Lee being in every one while he was still with us.
That's a good one.
All the MCUs.
That's a great one right there.
Stan Lee.
Damn, that could have been number 1. It's a great one right there.
Yeah.
Well,
I got lots of Marvel in this list, by the way. I just realized that I've got a lot of Marvel movies in my list, but that's my jam.
you know me, man. I'm rare movies.
Oh, here we go. Number 4.
So, but this one isn't too rare. It's a classic. Blockbuster from 1989, directed by Ivan Reitman. Ghostbusters 2, which in my opinion is better than the first one. A lot of people get upset. It's better than the first one.
Okay, all right.
But it has a cameo from an R&B legend, a member of my favorite R&B group, Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown is in Ghostbusters 2?
Yes, he is. You remember the part where they walk into the hotel, into the mayor's office, and when they walk in, he opens the door, and he's like, "Ghostbusters, my little brother loves y'all. Can I get one of those proton packs?" And Harold Ramis says, "A proton pack is nothing, not a toy," or some shit.
That's
like
Bobby Brown?
That's Bobby Brown. And
Wow!
And at the time was a superstar. Michael Jackson was number 1. Bobby Brown was number 2. Look up the billboards. Yeah.
My Prerogative by Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and that was around the same.
Yeah, that was.
Well, that was '88, but this was '89, so yeah, that was.
He was still at the top of the charts. Yeah.
He was the man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know everything about it. I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Ghostbusters. I put Ghostbusters ahead of Ghostbusters 2, and I love Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I love both of them. I love both movies,
too.
but yeah, Ghostbusters 2 was it was
Bobby Brown and Ghostbusters 2. All right.
and even did the theme song to the movie. You don't remember that? He said, "Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. They call us Ghostbusters, and we're in control." Yeah, that's right, Bobby. Come on now, I know the rap and everything, man. Come on now.
Number 4 for me. Number 4 for me comes from, we're staying in the 80s, from 1987. This is another spoof movie by the legendary Mel Brooks. The movie is Spaceballs. The cameo is at the end, and it stars John Hurt. John Hurt is the character from the movie Alien who has the alien burst out of his chest, and which is what he does in Spaceballs. The alien bursts out of his chest, and he looks down at it and says, "Oh no, not again." But John Hurt is a big actor to show up in a spoof movie, and John Hurt's amazing. I think he got the best actor for The Elephant Man. I don't know if he won that award or not. I'll have to post that, or if I did. But yeah, John Hurt playing his character from Alien in Spaceballs from 1987.
Who did he play in The Elephant Man?
The Elephant Man.
I thought. Okay, that's one I haven't seen.
Anthony Hopkins plays the doctor who is, yeah.
Because I knew he was in it. No. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's unrecognizable. He is head to toe in prosthetic makeup to make him look like John Merrick, which I might be messing up the name. Either way.
Got you.
There it is.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That is a good one.
That was a good one because I remember that part. He starts singing. It was the
hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime.
Yeah, I remember that.
Send me a kiss by wire. Take that, Bobby Brown. I will sing that song. Well, you get to sing, then I get to sing.
All right.
I'll take water. It's a hot day in LA here. It's 102 degrees while we're shooting.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And then it just got hotter because we talking about hot topics like, you know what I mean, Bobby Brown songs, man. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. So, which one we on?
I think you're on number 3.
Number 3.
Yes, number 3 for you.
Number 3. Classic. Great comedy from one of the best directors ever. 2013. Directed by Martin Scorsese. Wolf of Wall Street. Matthew McConaughey. That movie is entertaining.
It's on his chest. Man.
Hilarious. And, everybody did a great job, but his one part might be the most entertaining and even set the tone for the whole movie.
It's a really good part, and I think he improv most of that, if I've seen that correctly, in an interview or something. But Wolf of Wall Street from Martin Scorsese is one of my least favorite Martin Scorsese movies. And it's still very brilliant, but it's way down on my list. I'm gonna do a top 10 Martin Scorsese movies like I did for the Quentin Tarantinos. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey. He's great in that.
Yeah, it set the tone for the movie.
It did.
You pretty much that's what the movie was about from that point on.
Set the whole tone.
And
Matthew McConaughey, all right.
One of my favorite actors.
Number 3. Number 3 was the first movie I thought of when we came up with this idea. It popped into my head. Because I saw this movie in the theaters with Dr. Bridget. She's watching this right now because she's a follower of the show. Dr. Bridget and I saw this. She wasn't a doctor at the time. But we saw Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner. And at the end, there's the wedding, and Robin Hood's going to marry Maid Marian. And instead of anyone should speak now or forever hold their peace. And a voice says, "I will." And King Richard shows up, played by none other than Sean Connery, which was a big deal. And everybody in the audience lost their minds when Sean Connery showed up to play King Richard.
You're going to hate me.
I'm going to hate him.
I saw that movie when it came out back in the day, not in the theaters, but on VHS or something. And I didn't like it. I've never watched it again.
This did a whole thing about Cooley High. Like an hour-long thing
Cooley
about
High.
Cooley High.
It's amazing
And
movie.
now I have to deal with the fact that he doesn't like the Robin Hood Prince.
Cooley High is a way better movie than Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is not a good movie, but it does have a great cameo. I'm not saying it's a good... No, there are a lot of other good Robin Hood movies you used to see before Prince of Thieves. But the cameo with
Men in Tights was better than this.
Oh, son of a...
Nah, but actually, I forgot about that cameo because it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
It's not good. You're right. Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is not very good. And
Remember Morgan Freeman?
I was about to say Morgan Freeman's in it, and
Like Robin Hood?
and he never gives a bad performance. And this one's like, I don't know, Morgan.
Yeah.
Either way, but yeah, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, Sean Connery.
That's a good one.
Number 2. It's not a good.
I might have to go back and watch it again to see if I appreciate it.
Give us the number 2 from the Hallmark movie no one's heard of.
Number 2. Everybody's heard of this.
Okay.
I hope you've heard. I hope if you haven't seen this one, I might have to
A lot of judgment.
might have to get up and walk. No,
Get up.
So, 2000, directed by Steve Carr. A sequel. Nowhere near better than the original, but a sequel. Next Friday. And the cameo is Clifton Powell. If you don't know who Clifton Powell is, he's been in tons of television, tons of movies, has a long history in movies and television. Like, just look him up. He's like a lot of people might be like, oh, you comparing him. He's like a Samuel L. He has a long history of just,
Like I don't know him, but I see his face. I go, oh, that guy.
You would, well, you should know Clifton Powell. Man.
Okay.
He's a
Clifton Powell from Next Friday.
he played in Ray. He was in Ray, and I can't remember the character he played.
Where do you stand
But
on all the...
back to next Friday. My bad.
Okay. back to Next Friday. Please continue. Continue.
Pimp named Pinky, who owns the record store that Day played by Mike Epps, who plays Ice Cube's cousin in the movie, who works at the record store, and his co-worker is Justin Pierce, who played Casper in Kids. Rest in peace, Justin Pierce. And
A lot of passed away folks on this. This is sad.
man.
We're having a sad day.
yeah, but we gotta give them their flowers.
Give them the props.
Give them their flowers. But anyways, they're working in a record store, and it's a part where they're in there smoking weed, because that's what Friday is all about, And he shows up. And Ice Cube, who doesn't work there, walks out to open the door or something like that, and Pinky, played by Clifton Powell, thinks he's robbing the store. And those who have seen it, you already know how funny it is. Recently, I looked up top 100 funniest scenes in cinema, and it was on there, and it surprised me. That's how funny it is. Yeah.
I've got to go back and rewatch Next Friday.
That's pretty fun.
Where do you stand on all the Fridays?
They go in a row.
They go in a row? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
3?
Because even the third one, at first, I kind of didn't enjoy it that much, but over the years, it's a black Christmas movie, man. Friday 3 is a Christmas movie. It's Christmas time, and yeah, it's
Love
a little Christmas story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoy that one too.
Next Friday. Number 2. Number 2 comes from 1979. I don't know who directed it. I remembered seeing it in the theaters. I was 10 years old. And the cameos in this movie include Dom DeLuise, James Coburn, Madeline Kahn, Telly Savalas, Carol Kane, Milton Berle, Bob Hope, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, Mel Brooks, and the following. The movie from 1979 is The Muppet Movie.
Oh.
It's the very first Muppet movie.
Wow,
And
man.
and the cameo I'm going to pull is the last cameo you see in the movie when they show up to see the big corporate executive, and a chair turns around, and it is Orson effing Welles. Orson Welles is in the Muppet movie. At 10 years old, I have no idea who Orson Welles is. But I remember when he came on the screen, I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad, went, oh, jeez. Like, impressed to see Orson Welles in the Muppet movie, and now that I know who he is, I'm very impressed Orson Welles is in the Muppet movie.
Hey, I grew up on the Muppets.
I love the original Muppet movie, still do.
My favorite is The Great Muppet Caper.
That's
who
the
had
second.
A lot of,
That's the second movie. Yeah.
That's the second one?
The Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, The Muppets Take Manhattan. Those are the first three Muppet movies.
I thought
In
Muppets
order.
Take Manhattan was before The Great Muppet Caper. Am I wrong?
You are incorrect.
I am.
If you are correct, I'll put the answer right here. That's how we always do things, because KO and I will just go on and on forever trying to figure crap out. But I believe it is the order I said.
Yeah, Great Muppet
right
Caper had a lot of cameos. All the Jim Henson movies had a Great Muppet.
I mean, after the first one
cameos.
came out, everyone's like, I want to be in a Muppet movie. I want to act with the Muppets. Who wouldn't?
Speaking of, we'll move on. But speaking of Jim Henson movies, I just recently went back and watched one that I grew up watching, and it's almost as good as all the Muppet movies. You remember the only Sesame Street movie that they had? Live action movie?
Something that stars Big Bird.
Follow That Bird?
Follow That Bird.
A lot of cameos. A whole lot of
I
cameos.
have not seen Follow That Bird.
It's a great, a funny
I can't
storyline.
remember.
Yeah.
You think it's better than all the Muppet movies?
No, I said it's almost just as good.
It's on par.
Yeah, yeah. To be like Sesame Street.
All right. Drum roll.
Yeah.
Number one. Your number one cameo.
My number one. So this movie is a movie with a lot of cameos. And it was on one of our previous episodes together.
Okay.
1980, directed by John Landis, Blues Brothers. And the cameo is Aretha Franklin.
That's who you're picking for the big one? That's a big one.
Because there was a lot of cameos in that movie, but her part was the funniest. She said, well, I would say Carrie Fisher, her part was funny, but she was in the whole movie.
You can go on, walk on right out of here without your dry white toast, without your 4 fried chickens,
your
and
fried
without
chicken.
Matt Guitar Murphy.
And then sings, you better think about what you're trying to do to me.
Brings the house down.
Yeah.
Think Aretha Franklin, bringing the house down.
It was I remember being a kid, and every time that part came on, I had to get up and dance.
That was on our buddy movies, and I picked The Blues Brothers as my favorite buddy movie. We're two buddies of one form or another. Oh, that's a great pick. Yeah. That's a great pick. I realize now that my number one pick is breaking the rules again. Didn't mean to break the rules because they're totally in it, but I have to give it to number one for me. It's from 2021. It is another Marvel movie. It is Spider-Man No Way Home, which doesn't really have cameos now that I think about it, but Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Thomas Hayden Church, Jamie Foxx, and I can't remember that guy. But the one who was an actual, the actual cameo is Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox plays Daredevil from the Netflix TV series, and they'd never crossed over or anything like that. So when Charlie Cox shows up, unannounced and I think uncredited till the end, Charlie Cox is the cameo.
Hold up, so you picking all of them for the cameo?
No, I'm picking Charlie Cox.
Oh, all right, I got you. I was like,
because John Lee Hooker is in the Blues Brothers. He's a great cameo too, but I agree with
he just sings the song. He don't have you feel me? I almost picked because James Brown part was amazing, but Aretha Franklin.
He plays Reverend Cleophas.
Yeah, and Aretha Franklin, she killed it.
Yeah, but Charlie Cox, I remember the cane comes down and you can see the logo, and in the theater there was this audible, and then he sits down and everybody goes, wah! And I love that reaction. That's the best part about cameos, is you go, is that who I think? Oh my God!
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, I wish they wouldn't mess everything up with trailers nowadays, because I recently just watched The Flash.
Right.
Which Actually, I was entertained.
I like The Flash.
But I wish I could have went into watching that without knowing what the cameos were going to be, because
I agree with you that there's too much. I just saw while in the theaters while I was watching the Meg 2. Meg 2.
You went and saw that?
I
You spent
wanted
your
to
money
like
on
it so
that?
much. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did, and I did a review of it. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I saw a preview for The Equalizer Part 3, and I think they tell you the whole movie in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what he does. He goes across the thingy and does the. I mean, it's like I don't know how it ends, except I know how it ends. Denzel's not going down, so you see the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah.
And I saw the preview for the last voyage of the Demeter, which I was going to go see, but it's just getting pounded in the theaters and getting destroyed on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'll wait for it to come on my television. But they show you what Dracula looks like in the trailer.
Yeah.
Save that. Save that for the movie.
I like to sometime, being the movie nerd that I am, I like to sit around and watch old movie trailers, and they pretty much just showed you a few scenes, might have said who the characters were, and that was it. You had to watch the movie and see what it was about.
They had 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you saw it in a trailer in the movie theater, it might have been a minute. Now they're like 6-minute trailers, and they show you everything and big scenes and whatnot. And yeah, we want to go see them, but I wanted to see them anyways.
You remember when you rushed to the movies because you didn't want to miss the trailer?
Right.
I don't rush to the movies to see worry about the trailers anymore.
Saw Oppenheimer, 3-hour movie with 30 minutes of trailers. That's almost 4 hours in the theater. That's a lot on my butt. That's a lot on my butt,
Which I haven't seen yet, and I feel bad.
Don't. It's okay. It's good. It's good. We don't need to see that. That will do it for this week, my friends. I want to give thanks to KO the Knockout for your third visit. Fantastic. Good to have you back on the show. We're going to do other top 10 lists. We're going to talk about our nerdy fun times. If you've got an idea for a top 10 list, by all means, put it in the comments. If you want to see us talking about movies, about board games, about pop culture, about all the nerdy things that we love. Until I see you next time, as always, peace, love, live long, and prosper. And I mean it.